again.
Stop.
Gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again. Run it back again. Light it up, represent.
This is not a phase, my dear. Time heals the moment, but our hearts were frozen, don't disappear. You were scared from not knowing, but I got a feeling that
I'll be right here for the rest of my life. Just know that I'll give you love you'll never wanna share tonight. Tonight. But if the world isn't working the way that we found it when we were too young to love, our attention is running, 5 seconds is burning a hole in our racing hearts. I wish we could find the space, a great escape, where we could finally break the mold. If it's us that we wanted, we're happy after the fall. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all.
life be till the end. Tell me stories that I've heard 1,001 times before. I bet. Let me fall into your eyes all over again.
I'll be right here for the rest of my life. Just know that I'll give you love you never wanna share tonight. Tonight. But if the world isn't working the way that we found it when we were too young to love, our attention is running, 5 seconds is burning a hole in our racing hearts. I wish we could find the space, a great escape, where we could finally break the mold. If it's us that we wanted, we're happy after the fall. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. No, 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 no.
This is not a phase, my dear.
Stranded in the open, dried out tears of sorrow, lacking all emotion to a new tomorrow.
sky. I hope they don't mind. I need you near, something to hold someone I can call mine. Please don't break my just break my
Here comes trouble, putting on a show. Like a domino, I fall. Another bottle, don't know what to say. Send me on my way to you. I know you're all that I want, but I don't even know your name. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. And you say it's a one-night thing, but I want something more than that. So don't go, leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. So don't go, leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. Eyes wide open, holding out for you. Tell me that it's true. Oh, did you notice? I saw you over there, looking like a heartbreaker. I know you're all that I want, but I don't even know your name. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. And you say it's a one-night thing, but I want something more than that. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way.
left your perfume on the pillow and your whispers in the air. Got your face stuck in the mirror and I keep finding your hair. Got a big box in my closet with the fall pictures we took. Oh, and I keep finding dog ears that you left in my books. Miss your ache and I just crash over, cause you crashed in like a tsunami. Woke up next to you so hungover, sunlight painted stripes on your body. I'd give anything that I have for just another one of your nights. You can have an arm and a leg, just a minute more of your time. Check our playlist, put it on low in the car. And your jacket's on the hanger, right where you left it in March. Every night I'm on my phone, like maybe you'll text me again. But all I get are reminders that we're better off as friends. Yeah. Got your toothbrush sitting in the bathroom, got your slippers waiting by the bed. Every little thing you left here, ever since you left, you've been living rent-free in my head. Keep telling everyone I'm trying to move forward, but it's so easy getting stuck in the past. Every little thing you left here is sitting where you left it last. Miss your ache and I just crash over, cause you crashed in like a tsunami. Woke up next to you so hungover, sunlight painted stripes on your body. I'd give anything that I have for just another one of your nights. You can have an arm and a leg, just a minute more of your time.
Wish I could tell you that I want you here with me, but you'll never love me like the way we used to be. Too far from Saturn, lost in the patterns. Where's the stars align so we could be free? Palms are sweaty, knees unsteady. I can't see my head on straight. Heart is heavy, wasn't ready. Don't think I can see your face. Now we're just friends. How long till that ends? It feels like forever away. Run
Relics of kingdoms past and crowns of ancient kings. I've heard stories of distant lands, realms I long to reach. Your voice, it beckons me to go to worlds unexplored, to leave behind my home and wander.
Takes me back in time to laughter and long nights we left behind. We were young, wild under open skies, chasing horizons with open eyes. Yeah, I walk along where we once ran, through streets that still hold the shape of our plans. The skyline feels like a friend I knew, holding the echoes of me and you.
reminding us that even the smallest rock can have a hand at sculpting worlds. Asteroid.
Let me light you up. I just wanna show you and dance in my love. Let me enter your ocean. Drown me in your love.
I've been treading water for some time, picking up the parts of all my life. Didn't get to solve it this time. How am I to break apart? Don't tell me why we can't collide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Don't you feel it? On the break of dawn, I'll follow you to carry on. On the break of dawn,
Feathers been calling, my enemies stalling, my people been balling, my team we been wildin'. Can't 100, we use basic tools. Strategies moving where we gotta move. There wasn't no option, no time on the clock, and no setting it back, and we gotta get profit. I'm standing on top of the glory, the road. We was just rebels, ain't do what was told. When they asked me how we leveled up, without us getting stuck, we just muscled up. This game spin, no one gotta tighten up, gotta muscle up, or you will get stuck in this game. I'm ballin' on top of that mountain, I'm on and I'm calling my mama to tell her I'm good. I'm surrounded by family like back in the hood. I was falling from grace, I was misunderstood. Hey, the pressure will sit you right down, but I stood up. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. On the balcony screaming, they just let me be. We had to slow it down, what goes around comes around. Oh, the frequency different now, I was going through different rounds. Hey, it's crazy, the progress is hitting now. Ain't no sitting and lost and found. I found what I lost in a minute now. I was on the wrong path, I admit it now. My only option was to get it now.
I got it on both and I learned from the losses. My failure was friendship, I saw it was ghosting. Started like everyone had certain tools. Only difference is I knew what to do. Now everyone calling when progress is stalling. My stock is missing, my life getting boring. Ain't no more hitting me up when you lose. When it's time to wake up, see you hitting the snooze.
When they ask me how we leveled up, without us getting stuck, we just muscled up. This game spin, no one gotta tighten up, gotta muscle up, or you will get stuck in this game.
Like you love JT back in 03, up on MTV, on a stage wearing shoes made of diamonds, singing songs about you like a siren. No, I won't be what you seem to need, cause I don't see what you seem to see. Ain't got troops in a crowd all united, ain't got you screaming loud and excited. I can't ever be the backstreet boy you want me to. I just can't measure up, no, I'm not in sync with the fashion. I ain't got the passion, never gonna be what you want. Backstreet boy you want me to. I just don't dress the part, no, I ain't got Nikes and my hair ain't spiky, and we both know that I can't be your backstreet boy. You'll never want me like you want CDs from the 90s, like you want Mac Clean, and I can't say to your face I don't want it that way. You seem stuck in the decade that you were born. Open one day and wake up on a tour bus headed to Rome for a Coliseum concert with thousands of crazy fans looking up at the stage at me dancing, knowing I'm your man. I can't ever be the backstreet boy you want me to. I just can't measure up, no, I'm not in sync with the fashion. I ain't got the passion, never gonna be what you want. Backstreet boy you want me to. I just don't dress the part, no, I ain't got Nikes and my hair ain't spiky, and we both know that I can't be your backstreet boy.
fun, who this? I'ma pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' try me, that's real stupid. Go all out, it's all I do, babe. Hey, new fun, who this? I'ma pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' try me, that's real stupid. Go all out, it's all I do, babe. Hey, 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 pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' hey, 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 all out, it's all I do, babe. Hey, 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 new fun, who this? New fun, who this? I'ma pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' try me, that's real stupid. Go all out, it's all I do, babe. New fun, who this? I'ma pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' try me, that's real stupid. Go all out, it's all I do, babe. Hey, 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 pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' hey, 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 all out, it's all I do, babe. Hey, 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 pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' hey, 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 new fun, who this? Somebody get me, 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 somebody get me. Hey, 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 pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' hey, 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 all out, it's all I do, babe. Hey, 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 pull up in a brand new whip. You gon' hey, 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 new fun, who this? Hey, 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 hey.
Was it all in vain? My world revolved around you, now it's trapped inside the pain. Maybe I should stay in the dark after you had it to a place too far away. Now all those crazy thoughts are going through my mind. A part of me I can't escape. Our love was so sublime. It doesn't make no sense if you're not here again. If the only one who's gonna hold me there for me to say, what comes after the end?
of the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through? For you, 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 for you. Won't you let the light shine through? For you.
There's a beauty in the way you're worn, and the sharpness of your thorns. So vibrate in the imperfections. In the pain there's something real. All that anger so concealed. Still you're lost in how to feel. Just let me hold that severed world. There's a beauty in the way you lay, and the way your color fades. You stand out now with your imperfections. Oh, it was never meant to fall apart. It was not supposed to cause us harm. But these days all I do is wonder, is about another we could start again. Cause in the pain there's something real. All that anger so concealed. Still you're lost in how to feel. Just let me hold. Oh, that's severed world.
Surprise that you're in my mind. You fooled me once, you fooled me twice, and I ain't going back this time. We're breaking up, I don't know why. I know you've been fooling around. You better watch out, you better watch out. Why'd you gotta do me like that? 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 Why'd you gotta do me like that?
rather be here, lonely in space. I've made up my mind, I just wanna be free. I live my own life in a new galaxy. I wanna be weightless in the silence of the night sky. I wanna free fall into nothing at all. I'm taking the moment, starting all over. I wanna be free and live my own life in a new galaxy.
inside my corner, yeah. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you I just can't breathe. You never get away 'cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you I just can't breathe.
It's sunset on Friday, I'm stuck on the highway. It's been a while. I'm late to the party, you already started the sparkling wine. I need to find a spark to keep me from the dark. I'm looking for a fire.